protecting?
Yes, neighbor, I'm still here.
You have 5 minutes. Here's my question to you. How does the PNP reposition itself against a strengthening Jamaica Labour Party led by Holness? Because whilst the PNP is there falling apart, the Labour Party is gaining strength. How do they recover from this?
In another 10, them have about 10, 15 years to do that, neighbor. And it is going to have to be a total repositioning of the party. The constitution, the very constitution of the PNP are what they live by. So just imagine that the constitution establishes this organization that we are now questioning its credibility and its integrity. So even the constitution of the party will have to be ripped up or revised for a better approach. And it is going to take some time. They're going to have to do some things that they have been hiding away from for the past 30, 40 years. They're going to firstly have to admit to the wrongs they have done to Jamaica and Jamaicans. There are some commentators who refer to this as a truth and reconciliation period. They will have to go through this. And it starts with the very honesty that they try so hard to hide away from. It starts with honesty. They will have to admit that, yes, we have done you wrong, Jamaica, and we are sorry. The apology is second. Then after that, a lot more Jamaicans will begin to listen to them again. Because the truth is, only their base listens to them now. And that's the reason why I, for one, having found that out, refuse to have a conversation with them. Because only their base listens to them. But the people who listens to us don't listen to them because they don't form part of their base. So when we invite them to propagate, we're giving them access to a wider audience that they don't have. And so they will have to get on the road to Damascus like Paul did and find their way. And they will have to decide how they win back the hearts of the Jamaican people, because the Jamaican people currently are not with them. And it is going to take a mighty long time, because even after this transformation that they will have evidence of, the people are still going to be skeptical of this. Because some people still are going to say, like myself, no man, that is the PNP. A leopard never changed its spot because of the amount of wickedness that they have done. It is going to be very hard, neighbor. And you know what else is very instructive? They will have to do it in real time. And I like them have a holiday if you take some time off to go get this done and come back. No. They will have to take on this mission in real time. And it is going to be very difficult for them to accomplish this, because they have a government that is growing in stature daily.
Yes.
By the minute, hourly, weekly. And with every project that Andrew Holness and his government bring to fruition, every door, every ribbon that is cut, every door that is open, every time a pipe turn on and send water into people's houses, they will have to contend with that while they're doing their internal rebuilding. And it is going to be very difficult. It is going to be difficult with a government in its strides. It is going to be difficult with a government that is on a bucket list mission. Notice the mission the government is on, neighbor. The government has already identified the opposition that they want to identify. The opposition that motivates the government is the people. Once people complain, the government acts. And so
yes, and when the Prime Minister made that observation, many criticized him, but
yes,
he was smart.
It's very smart. So what that is doing, it is taking away the sting from an opposition. And that's why the opposition cannot find its footing. The opposition has not managed to find its footing. Not that they didn't put up a good fight, especially last time, but because the government is showing us in real time that they are accountable to the people. And when the people speaks, the government listens. Then it is going to be very difficult, neighbor. I am not seeing in the near future a viable People's National Party, because by the time this term done, the government will be ticking off its list, its bucket list. Many of the angst, many of the issues that the people has, many of the sore issues that the people have had for many years, the government will be ticking off the boxes on many of these. So already the PNP don't have crime for quarrel about politically. Already they don't have the economy for quarrel about politically. Already they don't have infrastructural development for quarrel about already. Them already empty the magazine per Andrew House and per 28 bank book. So what else is there for the PNP to put forward to the people now? Why the people should consider them to be better than the government that is now making strides and ticking the boxes and satisfying the needs one by one on behalf of the Jamaican people. And that's where it lies for the people.
In other words, Jamaica today is in no worse a position, because although the opposition is falling apart, the government is not letting down the people.
And that is the difference. And you know what, neighbor? You see, so it's a couple of factors, coming together, compounded together, that is creating problem for the PNP. Because guess what now? The PNP is in uncharted territories.
Because part of what is hurting them, is the very strength of the government.
Right. So they are in uncharted waters, neighbor. They don't know how to behave in this kind of scenario, because guess what? So literally, it boils down to the government don't need them to be bawling out and making up noise and protesting to answer the people. The government is answering the people by the people asking or demanding answers by themselves. And so one of the next risks that they run here, is that sooner than later, the people are going to say, but we don't need our opposition then, because when we bawl out, the Prime Minister answers us. So we don't need an opposition.
Yeah.
And they will become less and less influential in the political landscape.
And isn't it true that when governments are failing, oppositions shine? When governments do well, oppositions becomes irrelevant,
Right. And that is what the PNP are facing now.
But then a smart opposition, because protecting Jamaica is a unique place, and it is a developing economy. We have a space here for an effective opposition, don't you?
We have a space for a sensible opposition, neighbor. All right. For example, the world is heading to the Internet of Things. We can't stop it. Okay? We have bots now carrying out the functions of humans. All the opposition needs to do, with all the bright people it claims it has, is continue to look down the road on the groundbreaking developments that are around the corner, continue to search out, and then push the government in that direction while sensitizing the people on the part that the people would have to play in that new kind of situation. Now, wasting time to talk about a man, woman, and send out your lapdog, figure say, them bite the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister bite them back. A foolishness them there. Talking about the Prime Minister house in the 21st century is nonsense. Talking about a man of 28 bank book because you think you're messaging to a wider scale of Jamaicans when you don't realize you're only PNP now no bank book because they now work no money if you put in a bank. That is nonsensical. The world is changing. Geopolitics are becoming closer to home. They are getting closer to home. And technology is rewriting human history. Technology has rewritten human communication. It is now rewriting human existence. Talk to the people in that regard. And you might get some of those who are in the middle, who are bright people, who go university and they're involved in tech. You might get some of them on your side. But every day you're in a man brief and in a woman draws, that can't help you. And that is all politics. And they are now realizing in real time that that is not helping. And I do not believe that they are so inclined, those who are trustees of the party, I do not believe that they are so inclined to leave the party over to a Damian Crawford, who will do the very same thing that they should be doing now. Because I'm sure Damian Crawford will look 5-10 years down the road and present a vision to the young people. He will bridge that divide of what Jamaica can become. And that is going to make a big difference. But the power struggle, because the center of power and the center of influence resides in the presidency. And so you're going to have a very nail-biting fight going down to the wire of who is to lead the People's National Party, leading them into the next decade or half a decade. And neighbor, as I said to you before, we are going to see some very interesting things happening as we move forward. The People's National Party just realized that Skynet is becoming aware. And I don't know how many people would understand what I just said.
Yeah.
Neighbor, do you remember
yes.
in the 90s? Just let me remember in the 90s, listeners, neighbor, Harry, when we were watching Terminator and you hear this argument about Skynet is becoming aware? Do you remember back in the 80s when you watched the Jetsons and hear about flying cars? This is where the world is going. This is where Jamaica is going.